All aboard? Last Call to Love. Posted by Lauren on Tuesday, December 20, 2011. The Earth that you once knew is no longer. There's a new vibrational pattern that has permeated the blueprint of the planet, and you now exist as members of the galactic community, cousins to the enlightened citizens of your galaxy. Pleiadian High Council. The new Earth in just a couple more days, through the solstice on December 22nd. We will have completed the last and final recalibration of 2011, and according to the PHC, this completes our journey to New Earth. We may not have a full understanding of what this means for each of us individually yet, and most of us are still too wary to find out, but I am hearing that the profound realignment that took place over the last several weeks was required to fortify ourselves with love so that we are fully anchored in Christed consciousness for the global restructuring that will take place this coming year as a result of our arriving here. And it promises to be another big year in the sense that the physical restructuring and transformations of 2012 are inevitable, and will serve their purpose to effectively shift the human collective to the heart of all matters and open all pathways to love. This will mean many different things to many different people, but above all else, the PHC wished to allay any fears of 2012 calamity and remind everyone that ascension is an inward journey where our outer world is merely a projection of our own consciousness, and that our individual part in the collective experience of Earth is vital right now. Each of us holds a piece to this universal puzzle, and so each of us has a major role to play in raising our own vibration, increasing our love quotient, so that collectively we can increase the vibration of the planet and participate in the wonders of the new world. Note: there are a lot of fear-based energies circling the planet with regard to this coming year, and all the prophecies, predictions, and intentional programming designed to thwart our inevitable arrival into 5D, so it is important to stay connected to love through the holiday season and just allow those energies to be if you feel them. If you're sensitive, you may be feeling a sense of impending doom, or just an unidentifiable anxiety looming over you. This will pass shortly, but even quicker if we remain detached and merely observe the collective energies in motion. In 2012 we will be learning that love is all we need, but not in a lyrical way, in a very vibrational way. When we make this profound shift, love literally becomes the animating force of life, the fuel for our creations, our biology, our relationships. When love is fully woven into the tapestry of our lives, miracles become the very fabric of our existence. Love, not 2012. Is what we have all been gutted primed for. Source code revealed. There is a very scientific aspect of ascension that is beginning to permeate more of the collective mind with regard to resonance, and those at the forefront of a new humanity know this intimately. Those souls who are ushering in the new world are beginning to sing to a different tune. Literally. The new, angelic, human is attuned to the 528 Hz resonance of the sacred, high, heart, which resonates in harmony with the crystalline, Christ, grid. The 528 Hz vibration of love is the source code of creation, the universal key required to unlock our co-creative potential, to free ourselves from bondage and enter the playground of New Earth. This code acts as a vibrational buffer to ensure that the sacred powers of the universe are only bestowed upon those of pure heart. For those of you who saw Christopher Nolan's Inception, there is literal truth in the many layers of symbology in that film. The most obvious in this case being the mathematical code 528. That is repeated over and again throughout the movie, a phone number, on a napkin, the hotel room, but the most interesting is that the number 528 was in the actual vault combination to unlock the safe which contained the secret to the cathartic relief of emotional suffering, and all of which was driven by the heart of the main character to return home to his children where his love is. It took me a couple months to connect all the dots, and some of you may have figured it out long before me, but I realized, in retrospect, that the last several energy updates were leading to this revelation, and that each title I was given was very telling, even obnoxiously so, beginning with Inception, the final initiation, 11-11-11, source code activation, and all the way to the arrival of universal love. In other words, as we cross the threshold into 2012, we are literally waking from the dream, from the illusion of limitation. The resonance of universal love that we are required to embody unlocks the proverbial gates of heaven, so we are no longer trapped within the making of our unconsciously created and holographically projected world of fear, those fears that have been providing us with ample proof that we are not good enough, worthy enough, loved enough, well enough, or just plain, not enough. So what's most pressing in this moment, before we step into completely uncharted territory, is the observation release of anything remaining in our mental, emotional or physical selves that is based in fear and therefore holding us back from the embodiment of love. Whatever wounds you are revisiting right now, it's important, but not easy, to view as objectively as possible and with the light understanding that we don't have to drag this baggage around any longer, that a clean slate is not only a possibility now, but a requirement. The new blueprint of Earth requires love now more than ever, and for those who hear the call, the impacts will be greatly lessened. For those who refuse the call, the impacts will be greater. We say this not to elicit fear, but to remind each of you that true healing is possible now, but requires the firm commitment to release all that is not love. For those who have been dedicated to the work of releasing these patterns of fear, unprecedented openings are before you. PHC wave of love, this wave of love that the unseens are forever telling me about and that always seems just slightly out of our reach, must be a really big deal, because they are not only asking me to emphasize and repeat the word love 1 trillion times in this article, but they are asking me to dedicate this section to it, and to leave my 2 cents out. Also, my personal experience with the Pleiadians is that whenever the council shows up, it's time to pay attention. Their austere mannerisms seem to seriously mean business. The incoming wave of love is pervasive and unstoppable. It is lifting you to heights unknown. We will say this: you are not only going to be delighted at what you have created for yourselves, in that the universe multiplies and returns your love-based efforts tenfold, but you will be in awe of your own personal dedication to this journey. You will be swept up in the throes of self-love like never before, for you will realize, maybe even for the first time, how much love was really required on your part to arrive here. We understand your contempt, but can't emphasize this enough. Considering the circumstances, the fact that each of you will feel the absolute warmth and glow of Creator's love touch your hearts and lives is nothing short of miraculous. And this holiday season we wish for you to bask in the knowing that it is you who brought forth these energies, and, collectively, it is you who delivered the world from evil, and it is you who responded to Creator's call to come forth and, in some cases, to incarnate in human flesh for the first time, just to see your missions through. These grand missions of love are not by accident or default, but by the compassionate grace of God that lives within each and every one of you and desires for nothing but the purity of love for all. We, the Pleiadian Light family, are filled with the same love for all of you, our human family, our galactic kin, and deeply we appreciate and honor your contribution to the collective journey of Earth's ascension. You are soon to be taken back by the full breadth of this truth. For when see and feel love from our vantage point, undoubtedly you will be transformed. PHC 1212, the 1212 Stargate that we recently passed through seemingly unfazed was a time of completion. According to the PHC, the 1212 activated imprinted the final encodement required to make the shift into unity, or Christed consciousness for those at the helm. Now, we say this with great care, for we realize that there are those who are not yet operating on the unity timeline, but for those who are, this is a marker point, a time of solidifying the results from your grand efforts. PHC the 1212 Gateway, and the energy leading up to it, was at least partly responsible for this latest round of emotional debris that has been kicked up to be expunged from deep within our core. kind of like a last-ditch effort to resolve all fear-based, ego matters that we have been working on throughout 2011. No doubt, we are all being revisiting by our ghosts of Christmas past, and in some cases depending on the density still remaining in our lives, this has been a time of some really impacting, life-changing revelations. These things that are rushing to the surface for our attention can seem daunting, terrifying at first glance, but this urgency intensity is just the answer to a universal clarion call to wholeheartedly illuminate every corner of our lives and bodies so that by the time the solstice rolls around we can lock into position for 2012, and begin again in an entirely new cycle, with a new life and in brand new world of our making. This is not to say that what comes up at this time will simply vanish, just that we are being gifted with the awareness of where love is still needed in order to fully shift into our 12th dimensional blueprint bodies. If these finalizing energies dropped a bomb on your life, realize that an explosion can serve two divine purposes. One, it will unmistakably, and without fail, bring our focus and attention to exactly where it's needed so that we can heal, release, restore whatever is calling us, and two, it can serve to shift us, rather quickly, into the mental and emotional framework required to align with love during this pivotal time. If you've experienced a jolt, realize that a jolt was needed, but that once you are aware of why, 75% of the work is already done. The other 25% is in loving yourself back together. We would add that the 12-12 presented many of you with options to choose a new pathway. These options were presented as either revelations, or a call to action. How you respond to these situations is what matters now, not in the resolving of them. PHC. So although there wasn't as much fanfare around the 12-12 as the 11-11, the PHC say this passageway was nevertheless impacting because it opened the doorway to the 12th level of genetic activations, the finalization of the crysted template on the planet. We would say that these energies are coming to uplift humanity in certain sectors, and to equally dismantle corruption in others. The way for each of you lies in the choices presented to you now. How you choose will determine the path of your soul in the coming year. Choosing love over fear is the only path to redemption. PHC 2012, Phase 2. The coming calendar year, the greatly anticipated year of 2012, is a monumental breakthrough in what we term planetary consciousness. By this we mean that those who have laid the plan for New Earth have far exceeded our expectations. Because of this, what is coming to pass is much grander, much more comprehensive and more delightful than even we imagined. PHC 2012 is what the Pleiadians call the year of drumroll please love. Actually, they refer to it as the year of divine or universal love, but this is also the year we enter, on the solstice, into what they have termed Phase 2 of Ascension, the physicalization phase, and the implementation of the divine radiance of love. This is the year when those who are here to serve the highest good for the planet and her people will be coming out of hiding. This group will wholly supported, protected and catapulted to positions of greater influence, whereas those who are self-serving will be continually called to divine order. This is the time year world era we have been waiting, working so diligently for, and the unseens share that all the many potentials that are arising revolve around love as the driving force of creation of our new lives. The new earth is here and love is the only way to enter. Love is the key code that grants each of us access to the co-creational forces of the universe and can only be accessed from within ourselves and by loving ourselves. In 2012, love will finally become the predominant force on the planet, and anyone in opposition to love will fall away. No one, no thing is exempt. We have so much to share with regard to this upcoming year, but we will sum it up by saying that those who are aligned with love will rise to meet love in unprecedented ways. In fact, the word love itself will shift to something greater. For love as you knew it will not compare to the love that will to pump through the heart of Earth and humanity. The lifeblood of Source will flood through your rivers and veins and will permeate every living thing with the radiance of divine love, the sustenance for life on the new earth. PHC wishing each of you a holy day season filled with love and an effortless transition into 2012. See you next year. LaurenThinkWithYourHeart.net